In today's episode we are going to do something a little bit different. We are going to take a look at 4 different karambits and making, well, I guess sort of a karambit special, spicing up the channel a little bit. I am by no means a karambit expert. I own like 1 or 2 since before, and I haven't put much focus on them on my channel. But with one of my latest knife purchases, I decided to throw in a couple of karambits just to bring some, variety to, well, mainly to my knife collection, but also to my channel. So I picked 2 folding karambits that I think should be of, high quality, at least in terms of like, well, materials and execution, etc. And I also picked up 2 fixed blade karambits that I thought to be, interesting designs. But once again, I have never trained anything with karambits. I'm not sure what I really think about karambits, but I do like bladed tools. I do like knives in particular, and I do like some varieties. So I mean, it's always nice to have some different styles of knives in the collection. But I can already say that I'm not going to add a whole lot more karambits into the collection. I just wanted a couple that I found to be interesting looking, at least. So what I have here is the Fox Blackbird karambit in carbon fiber and titanium. I have the Lionsteel L.E.ONE in it's an aluminum integral with a Magna Cut blade. This one I think has a L-Max blade, right? So those are the 2 folders that we will unbox and take a closer look at. The fixed blades is actually they are actually the same knife design, but in 2 different types or versions. One could say one is more of a coated blade, the other one is a satin finish. Titanium, carbon fiber, and D2 blade steel. And I think that, I think we're gonna start by unboxing the fixed blades, and then we're gonna unbox the folders. Yeah, that's how we will approach this, I believe. So there is not a whole lot of text here on the box. There are some numbers and a text stating that the knife is made in China. But I think that this is the SATIN version. At least we have a 50% chance. So I'm gonna say that. We're gonna start by doing a bit of unboxing here. Stir the package. No rattling. Let's see. Come on, there we go. So, yeah. This is, well, what the contents look like. There is some silica gel. There is a small piece of cloth here with the Defcon logo and the Jungle Knife logo. I mean, the name of this knife is the Defcon 5 Jungle Karambit, right? Anyways, this is what the contents look like. Let us try to remove it. This side. So, let's unsheath it, shall we? Yeah, this is indeed a satin version. We're gonna remove the plastic wrapping here. There is a fair amount of oil here on the blade. You know what, I'm actually gonna clean this off because it looks, I mean, it is good that there is oil on the knife since it's D2, but I'm gonna clean it off here. Give me just 1 second. So let's try to wipe the excess oil away. Like this. We have now gotten the excess oil of the knife. Has a nice satin polish to it, or a satin finish, I should say. Some interesting grind lines. Maybe we should go over the specs, or, well, maybe before we do that, maybe we should go over the Kydex sheath to see how that one is working. So let's try it like that. The retention is good, and the rattling, no rattling. So that's nice. The retention doesn't seem super strong. I mean, I can't shake it out, but it doesn't feel, you know, like it's super strong. But absolutely functional, I would say, no doubt about that. You got this tech lock. See. Is this, what type of is this? Let's see. Yeah, okay, so semi-typical tech lock. Press in, fold up, attach to belt or attach to anything you want to attach it to, and then secure it. Push this one to have it in a locked position. Kind of standard, I would say. So let's stitch the Kydex sheath for now and focus on the knife itself. So this one is made of D2 blade steel. Sure, I would perhaps have preferred something a little bit more high-end. Then again, I don't expect to use this knife a whole lot, you know, to be honest. D2 is not a bad steel by any means, but there are of course better steels out there, I would say. Titanium handle and shredded carbon fiber inlay. Let's see if we can get a closer look here in the camera. Blue anodized titanium for the, you know, sort of back spacer. Then we have this ring here with the glass breaker on. I know they make one of these knives in, not one of these knives, but they make this very design as a folding knife as well. And for the folder, they're using CPM S35VN, I believe. I would definitely have liked to see that used here as well. But I mean, it is what it is. Sometimes there are exclusive steels for folders and for fixed plates, etc. And I'm sure they have, you know, the reasons for that. But it is a full tang construction here. I wear size 10 in gloves, fairly large hands, placing the knife in my hand like this. It does feel quite nice, but you're probably going to use the reverse grip more. We can also try, you know, with the using of the ring here, like this. And then we can go with the reverse grip, which feels quite good as well. I mean, this is a very, you know, combat-oriented design. I mean, the original knife design that then turned into more modern karambits were more of a farmer's tool. But these days, when company, you know, make a modern take on it, it is for pure, you know, combat-oriented tasks. But it does feel. It feels good in my hand. Not too small, not too large. Feels just about right, I would say. So let's delve into the specs a little bit here. The weight of this knife is, I believe it is 283 grams. And the total length from the very end of the glass breaker to the very tip here is specified to 203 millimeters. It's about 20 centimeters in total length. Not a small karambit by any means. The blade length here is 76 millimeters, so 7.6 centimeters of blade length. And the blade thickness is a whopping 6 millimeters. So this is a really stout and thick blade. I mean, it is on the heavy side, it is compact, definitely. And like I said, the ERGOS are pretty good actually. I mean, I think they are, for my hand, the ERGOS are probably as good as it gets with a semi-wild design like this one. Let's take a look at the black coated version as well. The specs are going to be identical, of course, and the fit and finish as well, I hope. Yeah, there is a bit of jimping, by the way, here. Looking here, there is a bit of jimping here. Kind of smooth jimping, I would say. As you can see, it's quite polished. Bit of jimping here as well. On the top side, there is also a bit of jimping going on as well. And there is this Emerson thing here. I'm not sure what it's really called. I think it will be, a useful thing on a folder knife. When you grab it out of your pocket, the knife unfolds. But since this is a fixed blade, yeah, I'm not, really sure. But yeah, the design here is more of a, I would say this is like a hawk design thing. Like I said, really thick spine going into a bit of a swedge and tapering. The tip is, oh man, it's gonna be kind of difficult to, yeah, there we go. So the tip is fine, but it's not, too fine, I would say. About the thickness that I would prefer on a design such as this. I mean, I didn't know really what I was buying when I bought this one. I was intrigued by the design, I liked the specs in theory, and with the knife in my hand, I think I made a good call. Definitely an interesting piece to have in your collection. It's going to be interesting to see the sharpness of the edge. But let's unbox the other one as well, so we can take a look at it. So in this box there should hopefully be a black coated version of the Defcon 5 jungle knife Karambit. And it's probably gonna be soaked in some kind of oil as well. Same kind of piece of cloth here and silica gel. Let's see. I mean, identical packaging, wrapping. Let's see. So I'm gonna clean off this blade a bit as well. Give me just a second. So I have now removed most of the oil here on the blade. Wasn't quite as visible since it is, yeah, a black coated blade. Let's try the kydex sheath on this one as well, see if the retention is on par with the other one, or better, or, well, worse. So I do feel like the retention is not super strong. See if you can shake this one out. I mean, the retention is pretty much the same. No rattling, which is a good thing, but I would have liked a slightly stronger retention. Same type of tech lock here as well. No big surprises. Yeah. So this is what the blackout version looks like, kind of. It's just, well, it is black all around except for this backspacer ring glass breaker, which is blue as well. I think it is some nice contrast actually here with the black hardware. Would perhaps have been kind of neat with black screws, with blue screws. Black works as well, but blue screws could have perhaps looked even better if we are going by, you know, pure aesthetics, sort of. So, this is what the Defcon 5 Jungle Knife Karambit looks like in the two different versions that I decided to pick up. Yeah, maybe we should proceed with the folding karambits now next. We're gonna test out the sharpness of these two in a moment, but I want to do the unboxing of all karambits first. So let's proceed with Blackbird from Fox Knives. The last knives were made in China. This one, or in fact both of the folding karambits that I have, are both made in Italy. But the Blackbird it is. Some text here for those interested in that. Not sure if it's readable or not, but I will tell you what it says. It says Fox Knives Bastinelli Blackbird folding knife, stainless steel, L-Max, PVD, black titanium frame, and some other stuff. So let's just, yeah, kind of a simple package, I've got to say, but this is your typical Fox Knives package. You get some, yeah, warranty stuff, etc., really boring stuff, and then we have, we make it sharp. Thank you for choosing a Fox Knives, social media stuff, etc. Yeah, not gonna spend a whole lot of time looking at that. So here we have your typical Fox Knives leather pouch with the Fox emblem on it. So we got some Torx hardware, put away, and then we have the knife itself. So this is actually a tad bit smaller than what I was expecting. Might even have to zoom in on the camera. I think we're gonna do that. So we are now slightly more zoomed in, and I think that will work better for you know, taking a look at the details. We're gonna start by removing this plastic thing here at pocket clip. That. So in the palm of my hand, this is how big the Blackbird is. Wear size 10 in gloves. Fairly small knife, I would say. Got some nice carbon fiber and titanium. I think it's offered in bronze titanium. This one is just sort of, yeah, I mean it is black titanium, but it almost looks a bit bronzish as well, but this is the black version. Let's flip it open, shall we? Snappy. This design here, I really like the design of this one, the blade shape. So yeah, in my hand like this, using the finger ring. Let's go for a reverse grip. It looks small, but it's actually pretty comfortable, but quite a bit smaller than what we just saw. I mean, let me just bring this one out here again. So I mean, in a bit of a size difference, right? Definitely a bit of a size difference. So, anyways, this is a frame lock, pretty solid lockup, I would say. Oh, a bit of a stiff lock, I've got to say that. Closes fairly well. Very snappy opening action. Guess you could open it slower as well. Let's see. Yeah, just, you know, roll it up using this. I think this is called like the Emerson Wave, yeah, something, and that is when you remove it from your pocket. It's supposed to, you know, grab onto. There is some jimping here. grab onto your pocket thing and snap open, so you have it open in an instant of sorts. Yeah, very snappy and fast. Kind of stiff, stiff to disengage, however, but more important to open it up fast, I guess, given the design and the purpose of the knife. So there is some text here on the spine. Let's see if you can get it visible in the camera. It says something about the designer and the steel, and that it's made in Italy. Not even sure if it's visible, but yeah. This is a light knife as well. Let's look into the specs here, I think. So, like I said, titanium, carbon fiber, L.E.ONE steel, coated, black coated obviously. Frame lock design, there is no blade play. That's a good thing. The designer is Bastinelli. The weight of the knife here is, since I mentioned it was a light knife, I think it's stated to be around 75 grams, so it is a very light knife, no doubt about it. The total length here of the knife, from the ring to the very tip here, is, I believe, 170 millimeters, so 17 centimeters in total length, with a blade length of 65 millimeters, 6.5 centimeters. The close length should be 120 millimeters, so 12 centimeters in closed length. And the blade thickness here is 3 millimeters, so it's not, I mean, it's half the thickness of the fixed blade we just took a look at. But I think this thickness lends well to the overall design of this Karambit folder. And made in Italy. Let's see, yeah. I like the look and feel of this one. Very different compared to the fixed blade, no doubt about that. So let's proceed to the Lionsteel, to the aluminum integral with the Magna Cut blade. It's gonna be fairly interesting. Yeah. Here we have the Lionsteel L.E.ONE. Chemical black, red aluminum integral handle. So let's take a look at it. Okay, yeah. So this is what the packaging looks like. And some thing here. So Lionsteel, raise your limits. Ernest Emerson design, made in Italy. Lionsteel L.E.ONE. Yeah, some random information about the design and some other stuff. Yeah, so yeah, Torx tool and a spare screw. Yes, we don't need a whole lot of screws since this is an integral after all. So this is what the knife looks like. Quite a bit larger than the Fox Blackbird, Bastinelli Blackbird. Where did I put it? We should probably just take a quick look at just the sheer size difference. Let's see. So quite a bit of difference in size. Yeah, I'm gonna compare them a bit more later on, I guess. So integral aluminum, anodized, like a deep emergency red of sorts, crimson red perhaps, black coated blade. I picked this combination because I thought it looked the most, well, stylish. If you want your Karambit to be a bit more, well, not screaming in colors, you can get this one with a red, I mean in a black, you know, black finish as well. Or there's brown, green, and you can get it with a black coated blade or with a satin, or is it stone wash or satin finish? Regardless, you can get it in a non-coated blade as well. But this is the very configuration that I picked because I thought it looked the best. It's just that simple. So let's try to open it up here. We have the flipper, we have this wave thing, and we also got a thumb hole. So there should be a few different ways to open this one up. Flipper feels good. See, not really drop shutty, but it will shut with some force applied to it, or a bit of shaking perhaps. Let's see if we can open it up using like this. So you can use the Amazon Wave thing here to open it up as well. But like I said, it's going to be like for pocket carry mostly, that you get this stuck here and then it snaps open like this, kind of fast. You can probably use the thumb hole as well. Yeah. So quite a few different ways to open the knife up. Yeah. So let's take a look at the specs here, should we? Or maybe we should take a look at the size first. So once again, putting it in my hand, size 10. Fills my hand pretty well. Yeah, it is, you know, actually quite ergonomical. Some semi-aggressive jimping. This is actually a bit more on the aggressive side, I would say. Using the ring here. This is actually, I mean, if I want to utilize the ring like this, it feels like I need slightly larger hands. In a reverse grip, yeah, same goes here. I mean, this is almost too large in a sense. It is comfortable regardless. If you don't want to place any finger in the ring here, if you instead want to rest the thumb here on the back part of the ring, there is some contouring and jimping here. Let's see if you can get it on camera. Might be difficult, but it feels, you know, really natural and nice placing your thumb like this. This is a good, comfortable grip, I would say. Balance point, not that it's super important perhaps with the balance in a Karambit, I'm not sure. But yeah, let's take a look at the specs. Oh yeah, I should probably mention frame lock design, pretty solid lockup, no blade play. So this one, let's start with the weight. I mean, it feels kind of light, lighter than one should think. It is 134 grams. So yeah, I mean, it's lighter than one would think given the size, but that is of course due to the aluminum. Still light because it is an integral, since integrals tend to be a bit more heavy. The total length here of this one is 210 millimeters, so it's 21 centimeters in total length. The blade length is 82 millimeters, and it's got this kind of aggressive hawk design here as well. It's not like it's going around it, it's kind of, you know, abrupt and straight here. Let's see if you can get it in the camera. I think you get a general idea, even if it's slightly out of focus. The close length of this knife, I'm actually not sure what the close length is. But I think I'm gonna have to check that up. Was it specified here in this little brochure? Do we have the specs here? We actually do not have the specs here. Well, it is on the larger side in close length position, that much I can say. This is not a small folder by any means. The blade thickness, did I mention it? If I did not, it is 4 millimeters. So the Blackbird was 3 millimeters, This one is 4 millimeters, and the Defcon fixed blade karambits are 6 millimeters. So we got a bit of variety in thickness and in length and in overall design, and well, that's why I got them, because they are different but still, you know, enjoyable in some sense. Made in Italy, this one. No lock stick, no lock rock. Easy to disengage, a lot easier to disengage than the Fox Blackbird, but not as snappy action as the Blackbird. So maybe we should take a look at this one compared to the fixed blade Defcon here. So these are more in the same, you know, overall size range, I would say. A bit different designs, however. What I want to do next now is to test out the factory sharpness to see if these knives will cut and slice. So that is what we'll do next. For my sharpness test here for the Karambits, we're going to go with some different kinds of paper. This is how I usually start my sharpening testing. So we're gonna go with some regular printing paper. I think most people knows what that is. We're gonna go with some, you know, semi-glossy, semi-laminated magazine paper, still fairly thin. And then we're gonna finish it off with some newspaper. So different types of paper that pose different types of challenges. And we're gonna start with the printing paper like we always do. So, regular printing paper. I'm gonna start with the satin finish jungle knife Karambit. So I would say that this knife slices printing paper with ease. And then we can try the black coated version as well. Hopefully it slices just as nice. Or perhaps it actually slices even nicer. Oops. Yeah, this one slices printing paper with ease. We're off to a pretty good start. Next up we have the Blackbird, Fox Bastinelli. So Fox usually does some really good work with their edges. I bet this one will be quite sharp. Only limited by the, you know, the lack of blade length, perhaps. So. Yeah, this is the sharpest so far. It sliced printing paper with ease. Next up we have the Lionsteel. So I haven't really had the best experiences with the edges on Lionsteel knives. So I'm not, you know, expecting this one to excel, but I sure hope it will at least slice the paper. But I'm just saying it, you know, in my experience, Lionsteel hasn't impressed me. So, with that being said, I'm all ears. Magna cut blade, pretty rough, definitely rough slicing out. I mean, yeah. I don't really get it. I mean, perhaps a knife like this doesn't have to be super sharp, but if you're gonna use a steel like Magna Cut with, you know, really great edge retention, why won't you put on a really sharp edge from the get-go? This is actually a bit of a letdown, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. So, yeah. I think I'm gonna have to put some work on this edge, but we'll see how it slices the other types of paper. But printing paper, let's just put it like this. It can work its way through, but we are pretty far from, you know, clean cuts. The other ones are in a league of themselves compared to this factory edge. A shame, especially given, you know, the steel used for this one. But let's slice some magazine paper next. So let's make sure it's visible in the camera, and then we will go in the very same order as we did last time, starting with the SATIN here. Yeah, I mean, this one will obviously slice magazine paper with ease. Are we slicing multiple pages at the same time? I'm not sure. Regardless, it sliced well. Let's go with the black one now. So this one too slices with ease, the magazine paper. Let's go with Fox Bastinelli next. Yeah, I mean, obviously it will slice just fine. So, now comes the interesting part. I mean, the ones we have used so far made confetti in mere seconds. Like really, really nice confetti. Now it's time for the Lionsteel, and well, after the printing paper session, yeah, let's just try it. I mean, this is usually the easiest type of paper to slice, also because it is attached to something. Yeah, let's see how it works. Yeah, so it does actually manage to slice, but it is, you know, with some resistance. It is a bit rough, but it will slice, but not nearly as nice as the others. See, this is why I like to use different types of paper, because we get some interesting results in terms of performance. But yeah, all 4 knives did manage to slice the magazine paper. Some just did it with more ease and finesse than others. Confetti. Let's go with the newspaper now. So once again, we're starting with the satin finish. This knife is impressive. This was actually very impressive. I did not expect to see this factory sharpness of this knife. I'm not sure why I didn't expect it, but I just didn't. Easily the biggest surprise of the bunch. Then we go with black coated version. I mean, it will slice nicely as well. Really, really good performance. Then we go with Blackbird. really nice performance as well, really nice. So once again we have some confetti, this time out of newspaper. They made quick work of it, but let's see how the Lionsteel one fares. I mean, before I slice a knife, I will say that sometimes we have seen some knives, not many, but a few knives having the most issues with regular printing paper, and I'm not quite sure why that is. But the way I feel about this is that it should struggle cutting this. Yeah. Yeah. So it did manage to get some pieces of the newspaper off. Perhaps slicing newspaper better than it did with the printing paper. But this edge is, I think it's kind of a thick edge, and yeah, I mean, I think I will want to hone it a bit, because it needs some additional work to get to my standard of sharpness, or level of sharpness. But all in all, yeah, I was gonna say all in all knives sliced paper, but well, this one struggled. The rest were quite nice, quite nice. Let's do a bit of a comparison here in terms of ergonomics, utilizing the knife as a pure combat / self-defense tool. And that would mean placing the knife like this. I personally wouldn't use this finger ring. I would just go with a knife like this. Perhaps placing my thumb on this piece here, which has a bit of jimping. So this, or like this. And I guess that you're supposed to like slice and perhaps grip using the tip, or like a hook of sorts perhaps. Once again, I am no expert in knife fighting or using karambits, but I reckon this is, you know, how the knife is supposed to be wielded to do the most kind of damage. Anyways, using the knife in this grip does feel quite comfortable. Yeah, and well, I mean, this one is identical, so it's meaningless to go over it again with this. Although you could perhaps dual wield them if you feel like it, for, I don't know, maximum damage. Yeah, but regardless, it does feel good in this, you know, reverse grip. Yeah. So, Fox Blackbird, the small, snappy one, raptor-like claw. So in a reverse grip, this one feels quite good. I don't really want to utilize the ring here. I'd rather place my thumb on top of it, or, well, not really touching it at all. Really, it's like a claw. You know, I feel like an idiot sitting here doing stuff like this, but I guess that, I mean, this is how it's sort of supposed to be used, I reckon, you know, ripping, tearing, slashing, etc. So, but I mean, the main thing is that it feels secure in my hand in this reverse grip. Yeah. And then the Lionsteel L.E.ONE, which feels also quite, you know, quite comfortable in hand. Don't want to use the finger ring on this one either. It is okay placing like this, or just skipping it all together. This one has this aggressive, well, hawk thing, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I feel like this one is also quite comfortable, a little bit. Well, I mean, it's not uncomfortable, but I feel like I prefer, kind of prefer the feeling of this one. Yeah, this one feels more, maybe this one is perhaps a little bit too wide in some sense, or not really too wide. It's too thin, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe it feels pretty good after all. I think the most comfortable one is probably this one though. Easily the heaviest one. Did we ever check the balance point on this? I'm not sure we did. Right at the finger groove. So, I mean, all four have pretty good ergos in the reverse grip, or the intended grip for combat-oriented tasks. So here we have the knives lined up, making it a bit easier to distinguish different, design elements, size difference, of course, etc. And I am by no means a karambit expert in any way. I got these knives because I wanted some variety in my collection, and because I thought they looked, interesting. That is, some of the reasons why I got them. And like I stated earlier in the video, I'm not gonna get a whole lot more karambits. Not that I'm planning for right now, but I mean, one should probably never say never. But some quick opinions here. The biggest surprise here, in my opinion, are the two fixed blade karambits here. Both of them made in China, in D2 steel, less exclusive or less premium steel than the other two, being MagnaCut and LMAX. But in terms of fit and finish, I think the fit and finish is great on these two knives. Nice kydex sheath, nice materials, nice, just, the overall design, the feel, the size. It just, feels like, high quality knives. And I mean, I was of course expecting them to be good knives, otherwise I wouldn't have bought them. But truth be told, I didn't know a whole lot about the brand, the designer, etc. So it was a bit of a gamble that turned out quite nice. Next up, let's stay with Lionsteel here. So I do appreciate a nice integral, but I would have preferred if it was a titanium integral. Nothing wrong really with aluminum, but I do prefer titanium for a few different reasons. I think the ergos are pretty nice. It is a bit large, I would say, for a folding knife or a folding karambit. Larger than it needed to be in some sense, if that makes any sense. I do like that you can open it up using the flipper tab, the wave function and the thumb hole. I appreciate using really high premium materials like MagnaCut, but when you put an edge on it like this one, then it really doesn't matter that much that it is MagnaCut, because you still have to make an effort to make it sharper than what it is from the factory. And I don't have a whole lot of experience sharpening MagnaCut, and being a karambit, with this recurve and everything, it's gonna be I bet it's gonna be a bit of work, getting it to where I want it to be, or maybe even thinning it out a bit if it is slightly too thick behind the edge. But overall, other than that, it is a, if it's just for pure collection, then you will get a nice looking karambit in some, pretty nice materials. And integrals, yeah, I do like integrals. Then we have the Fox Blackbird, which is easily the most expensive knife here on the table, and the smallest one at that. I tend to think that, you know, Bastinelli products are overpriced given the materials used. But this one is a collaboration between Fox and Bastinelli, still priced quite high. But you get in my opinion, a great looking and great feeling folding Karambit. I like every, you know, design element of that knife. I love the ERGOS, I love the materials. L.MAX. It's been a while since I picked up a folding knife made in L.MAX steel, but I do like L.MAX in general. And yeah, I mean, it's a really nice knife. So the biggest surprise to me, these two. This one, I kind of knew it would be a pretty solid knife, and this one was, you know, I got sort of what I expected, but at the same time I was hoping for more. Yeah, I think that's probably it for this semi-random Karambit special episode of sorts. Yeah, I hope you kind of enjoyed my take and my view on these 4 Karambits, and yeah, maybe I helped you make a decision if you are into collecting Karambits, or if you like, you know, practicing knife fighting or knife combat in some sense, using trainers of course. But yeah, they will all 4 make a nice addition to my collection, at least. That much I can say, or at least, I mean, they're enjoyable knives, no doubt about it.